Hi, I'm Brandon with Porch Windows Direct, and I'm here to show you today some tips for measuring and installing our Extend vertical 4-track windows. Now, the very first thing in this opening here is where we're going to be putting the window in. We want to make sure that all around all four sides, top, bottom, left, and right, are all flat and in the same plane. Our Extend porch windows have a 1-inch flange around the perimeter, and those are attaching onto the outside face of the framing or siding. These all need to be flat with each other for that flange to attach to. They can't be kind of flat, they need to be flat so that you're going to get the best seal when the flange is attached onto there. No water will get in behind it. So flat surface on the exterior for the 1-inch flanges to attach onto. The window projects in 2 inches from those flanges. So you need to have at least 2 inches of clearance from the outside face in to allow the window to slip into that opening. When I'm measuring, the first thing I'm going to do is check the heights. Ideally, you'd like to have the same or very close to the same heights for all of your window openings so that the lines of the window sashes will all match up. You may want to make some alterations if that's not the case to try to settle on a similar height. We're doing one window opening here, so I'm going to check the height on the left and in the middle and on the right and take down the smallest number. Then for the widths, I'm going to take the bottom, middle, and top, and again, write down the smallest number. Now, we like to deduct 1/4 inch from the smallest of the height measurement and the smallest of the width measurement. That gives you a little bit of room to adjust and line up the window when it gets installed. I don't like taking any more of a deduction than that. If you give us your finished opening sizes, we can do that 1/4 inch deduction in the manufacturing. Or if you prefer to tell us what you'd like us to make the window frames to, we can do that as well. Let's just make sure we're talking about the same thing so that you don't take off a 1/4 inch and we take off a 1/4 inch and now we're making the window too small. So once we have all the measurements and a flat surface and the 2 inches of clearance, we're ready to go. I have this window here that has the packaging on it. It comes with a cardboard sleeve on each side that's shrink wrapped on. If you're picking those up here at our warehouse, or if they're being shipped direct to you, this is what they're gonna look like when they arrive. So we just need to pop the shrink wrap and get that cardboard off of there, and then we're ready to go. The Extend 4-track porch windows are extremely light. There's not a lot of weight to this, but sometimes it is helpful to have 2 people if you have 1 person on the inside and 1 person on the outside so that you can get the window centered in the opening and check the operation of the panels. Doing it by yourself like I am, you're gonna start from the outside and just get the window set into place. Now I can kind of feel where center is because, again, I only took a 1/4 inch deduction from there. There isn't a lot of room for side to side. So I'm gonna feel kind of where the center is based on that, and I'm gonna get 1 screw put in to hold it in place so that I can go around to the inside and just double check my reveals and placement of the window. The Extend porch windows will come with a a painted head screw that matches the frame. And our screws are the only one on the market that have a flat head to them. The profile of the flange around the perimeter is also all flat. So when you use these flathead screws and put those in, you can leave that as the finished look. The screws will blend right in with the frame, and that's fine. That can be your finished exterior. Or if you prefer, you can put an exterior siding or trim board on over top of the flanges, covering up the screw heads, and no alteration needs to be made to the screws or to the window frame. You can just trim that out without any extra trouble. So I'm going to put one screw up in the top corner of this window just to hold it in place while I go around to the inside. Now I'm checking in the bottom. I have the same approximately 1/8 of an inch gap on each side. And on the top, I have the same 1/8 of an inch gap on each side. So I have that exactly where I want it to be. So I'm gonna get the 4 corners screwed in now. Now the last thing I want to check before I finish adding the screws in the middle of the frame is I want to double check the tension of the window sashes. In a shorter window like this, probably not going to need any adjustment, but if you had an 8-foot or 9-foot tall opening, you might find that the frames want to bow out in the center, kind of creating an hourglass shape. If that happens, when you're sliding the window sashes through that middle where the frames are bowed out, they're not going to have enough tension. They're going to be really loose and want to drop down on their own. So I would want to add some shims on the inside to pinch those frames together so that they're parallel to each other, which is what will give the proper tension for the window sashes. So I'm going to check the operation of the panels, and I'm going to check that the reveal is the same on both sides and that I'm not getting any bowing out of the window frames. The reveal is equal all the way up and down on both sides. And if I lift the window sashes up into the middle, they stay there, which is ideal. That's exactly what we want. Again, if you found that the window sashes, when you put them into the middle, they were dropping down on their own, you'd want to shim those side frames in a little bit to create the right amount of tension. Since we're good to go, I'm going to add these last couple screws. Now that all the screws are added, the window sashes have the right tension, you're all set. That is one window completed.